Hello friends, how are you doing? I hope you are doing great after that long time. Now, tomorrow the DV lottery application period begins, and that means that the website for the DV lottery application will be open to receive entries. And as you can tell, I want to discuss on how to fill the entry without making mistakes. And there are many things that we're going to discuss. So before you enter into the lottery or you apply the DV lottery program, ensure that you understand this video and the concepts therein properly. As you can see, the first part of the DV application requires you to fill this information. And the first item is the names. And these names are the names that you have. And from many regions of the world, you find individuals having at least 3 names. Others have 2, but majority have 3 names, whereas others even more than 4 names. But how are you supposed to enter these names correctly? Remember guys, I've been telling you that the correct way to enter your names into the DV lottery is by referring to your birth certificate. If you have your birth certificate, your chances of making mistakes on your name are minimal. So the document that I recommend you to have during application, not that you will have to upload it anywhere during application, but just for veracity, the correctness of your entry, you should have the birth certificate or the passport and enter the names as they are on your birth certificate or your passport. That way you will eliminate the errors that can face you afterwards. So you plug in your family name first here, and it's mandatory, and then your first name and then the middle name. If you have 3 names, put your family name here, then your first name, and then the middle name. But if you don't have the first name, you can check this box here. If you don't have a middle name, check this box here. If you have 4 or 5 names, then you can put the family name here, and then the first 2 names here, and then the middle name here, just as they are on the birth certificate. The second part is on the gender. This is straightforward. It's either a male or a female. And then the birth dates. Insert the birth dates as they are on the birth certificate. Some individuals tend to forget the date of their birth. They remember the month and the year, but the date they don't know. So refer to your birth certificate and put the correct dates of birth, starting with the month, then the day, and then the year. The birth certificate will help you a great deal. And then we have the city where you were born. And here come problems, because the systems that are used in various countries, they differ. For example, in the United States, we normally use the term city to refer to any town in the United States. We call it a city normally. But when you come to countries in other regions of the world, you'll find that they have the term city referring to a huge town, a big town. And they have town referring to small towns, and we have villages and centers. So what you should know is that your city where you were born, as indicated here, simply means that place that is indicated on your birth certificate as your place of birth, regardless of whether it is a city or not. Even if it's a tiny village where you're born in, but that name appears on the birth certificate as your place of birth, that name is what you're going to insert here, the name of that village. Same case applies all across other towns or centers. So if you have a village, a town, a center as your name of the place of your birth, then you use it here, even if it's not a city, so long as it appears on the birth certificate. Another question about the birth city is, in Kenya, you'll find names of hospitals appearing on the place of birth. You can insert the name of that hospital here, or the town in which, or the city in which that hospital is. That's why I'm telling you the birth certificate is very important. You can insert the name of the city or town where that hospital is, or the name of that hospital as it appears on the birth certificate. And remember, you are not entering a district or county or province or state. It is the city or the exact name of that town where you're born. I hope that is clear. And then we come to the country where you were born. In this case, you select the country in which you were born, meaning the country where your parents were at the time of your birth. And that country will normally be indicated on the birth certificate. That's why the birth certificate comes in handy. And then we have country of eligibility. Now, this is another concept that we need to dive deeper. Country of eligibility means the country through which you are qualifying, the country that qualifies you to enter into the DV lottery. And you must note this. In most cases, it is the same as the country of your birth. That is for most individuals. But it is not necessarily the country of your birth. It should not be necessarily your country of your birth. It might be the country of your spouse. If you come from a country that is not eligible or listed as eligible to enter the DV lottery at the moment, you can still apply if you have a spouse that comes from a country that is qualified, that is eligible. You apply and claim the country of chargeability or eligibility as that of your spouse. I hope that is clear. In another instance, you can claim the country of birth of your parents if you are a kid that was born in a country that is not eligible, but at that time your parents were not citizens of that country, neither were they the residents or permanent residents of that country in which you were born that is not eligible. Let me say it again. If at the time of your birth, your parents were in a country and that country is not eligible at the moment, and therefore you're born in that country, but your parents are not citizens of that country, and they had not the permanent resident status of that country where you were born. If that is the case, then you can apply and claim country of eligibility of those of your parents. I know that's clear now. So, in other words, what we are saying is that your country of eligibility is not the country of your birth, though in most cases it might be the country of your birth. You can also claim country of eligibility of your spouse if your country is not qualified, or the country of eligibility of your parents if your country of your birth is not eligible, as I have explained. So if you are using your country of birth as the country of eligibility, you say yes, but if not, you say no and include that country that you're claiming eligibility of. And then we come to the entrant photography, and this one I've discussed in a recent video about the photo. So remember, the photo that you're using should meet the qualifications as specified on the dvprogram.state.gov's website. And it does not matter what device you use to take that photo. You can use your phone if it has a good camera. You can go to a photo studio, so long as they meet the requirements. That's why I told you in that video, even if you're going to a photo studio for a professional to take your photo, you need to have the qualities of that photo on your fingertips, so that you can explain to that individual or the photographer on the qualifications of that photo for that photographer to take the correct photo of you. Not all photographers or photo studios know about the qualities of the DV program photo. I hope that is clear. And remember, all the photos, both yours and your derivatives, must meet those criteria. And then we come to the mailing address section. Let me also discuss this. In this part, in care of means that someone else is taking correspondence of your mails. So the mails are sent to that person and then you collect them from him or her. And it might be a school, it might be a church, it might be a person, no matter what, so long as they are in care of your documents, and it's optional. If that is not the case, you have an address, then put it here. And if you have a second address, put it here. Then indicate your town or your city, and then indicate the district, the county, the province, or the state, and then put the postal code here. And about the postal code, because I know different countries use different system, the postal code of your town, you can get it by browsing it from the internet. Just Google it and you'll get it. You insert the name of your town or village and then search for the postal code. So you'll get the postal code or the zip code of that town. But if you search that way and you don't get it, you can just click this box. You can check this box, no postal code. And then you put your country here. And then this item here, country where you live today. So this is the country in which you're living in as you are filling the DS26, as you are entering the DV lottery. So at the time of your application, where are you staying? That country is what you fill in here. Then you have an optional slot here where you can insert your phone number. It's either you insert or not, it's optional, but the email is mandatory. And about the email, ensure that you use an active email, and this email must be an email that you will use even after winning. Yes, you might forget it later on, and if you forget it, you can replace with another one, but just use the email that is active and that you will use even after you become successful in the DV program. So use it here and confirm it. This is important. Remember, all communications after winning will come through this email. And then we come to this very important section, the education level. And this also becomes a problem to many, but I'll just do it quickly because I have a full video explaining this. So let me just go or rush through them. Primary school only speaks of 3 individuals. If you did not go to any school, you can apply using the primary school only. If you started the primary school but did not complete it, you as well select this. And if you went through primary school successfully and completed it, but you did not advance, you also select primary school only. For high school, no degree, this implies that after completing your primary education, you enrolled at a high school, but due to one reason or the other, you are not able to complete your high school education. High school, no degree does not mean that you completed high school and you have not attended a university to get a degree. No, that is not what it means. It means you started high school but could not complete it. So you select high school, no degree, if you did not complete high school. High school degree, on the other hand, means that you completed your high school education and therefore you have your certificate or diploma, your high school diploma or certificate. Vocational school, it is if you are not able to achieve high school education, but you went on to go for a grade school. By that I mean you went for a vocational school, technical skills school. You went to get the technical skills, even if you could not get the high school education. So if you did not get the high school education, but went on to go to a vocational school, your choice would be vocational school. Some university courses simply means you have started your university education and you're in the process, you have not yet completed. You select some university courses. Number 2, if you went to any other education after high school that is lower than university undergraduate degree, you as well select some university courses. A good example is if you come from countries where they have diploma as a level of education, and then after diploma you have the degree from the university, then that diploma comes under some university courses. If you come from that country, you understand what I mean. But any education above high school but below university undergraduate degree, you select some university courses. Or even if you started university education and dropped out due to one reason or the other and could not complete it, you select some university courses. University degree means went through the university education and completed your degree successfully, the undergraduate degree successfully. Some graduate level courses, you have begun your master's, but you're in the process, you have not yet completed. You select this. You've started your education above the university, but you have not yet completed, or to some reason, you went on to drop it. Then you select some graduate level courses. Then master's degree means you've completed your master's education and therefore you have your master's degree. That means you select master's degree. Some doctorate level courses means you are continuing with your doctorate, or you started the doctorate but you've not yet completed due to one reason or the other, or you could not complete it. You select some doctorate level courses, and then doctorate simply means you have your doctorate degree, you have completed your doctorate. I hope that is clear. And then there's some explanation here about the vocational, just as I have explained. And then we come to this other part, the marital status and the number of children. Let us begin with the marital status. And here also come a lot of problems. Let us see. Unmarried. Unmarried means single. And single means you don't have a legally married spouse. And that simply means as well that your girlfriend is not your wife. Your boyfriend as well is not your wife. So if you are single, indicates single. And then married and not to a US citizen, or married and to a US citizen. These two, let us discuss married. So married means you were legally married at the time you are applying for your DV lottery. So you have the document, the civil documents showing that you are legally married. That's when you select married. And I know others have questions. We are customarily married in our country and we don't have these official papers. What should we do? In that case, you should feel as married because you are customarily married. And then afterwards, process the legal marriage certificate. Upgrade your customary marriage to a civil marriage, to a legal marriage. And before we proceed, if you're married to an United States citizen, you indicate this first one. If you're married to a citizen of the United States, you have this second option. Divorced. Divorced simply means that you are legally married with documents, but later on, due to some reasons, you went on to apply for divorce and it was successful. So you are legally divorced and you have the divorce papers. That is the only time that you select divorced. Divorced does not mean you are legally married with papers, but later on you decided by yourselves to go your ways. That does not apply. Even if you go your ways without a legal divorce procedure, you are still married even if you went your ways. Widowed. Widowed means you are legally married to a person and then unfortunately died. So if you have legal documents that indicates your marriage and later on your spouse died, then you apply as widowed. Remember, if you are not legally married, you cannot claim that you are widowed because that spouse was not your legal or legally married spouse. So you should have the papers to show that this was your spouse but died. Legally separated means that you are legally married with documents, but due to one reason or the other, you decided that you need to separate and you followed the legal procedures for separation and you have proof documents for that. That's when you select legally separated. And there is an explanation here about what I've just discussed. And then when we come to this other sensitive matter here, the number of children, you should indicate the correct number of children that you have. By this I mean there are children that do not qualify as your children, whereas there are others that are your legally qualified children to be added here. And you should never lie, because I have dealt with victims of this. People that lied about the number of kids that they have and they were not given the visas. So if you have one kid, indicate you have, even if you're not married. If you are a man and you have a kid, indicate it. If you're a woman and you have a kid, indicate it here. Now, which children qualify? The children that qualify include your biological children. Number 2, stepchildren. And stepchildren means that you legally married a spouse that came in with children. Legal marriage. That's only when the kids qualify as stepchildren. If you're not legally married, they are not your stepchildren. And thirdly, legally adopted kids. The kids that are legally adopted with legal papers, they qualify to be your kids, and therefore you include their number here. But of all those 3 categories, they should not have attained an age above 21 years. And number 2, they should not be married regardless of the age. So even if they are 18 years of age and they are married, they are not qualified. So they should be below 21 years of age and unmarried. And after you filled that, then we click submit, and then the page. And then if you indicated you are married or you have kids, pages with parts to fill the information of your spouse will come, and then followed by the information about your kids, each one of them. And then after that, you will click submit, and then a page that will allow you to go through the information that you filled to verify whether you filled correctly will appear. And then after confirming, then you click submit and you are through with your application. And then a confirmation page will come with a confirmation number that you're supposed to keep safe until the results are out, because that confirmation number is the number that you use to check whether you were successfully selected or not. But if you indicated you don't have kids and you are not married, that means you're the only applicant. The next page will be, once you click the submit, a confirmation page where you confirm that the information in your field is correct. So you go through that information, and if it's correct, you click submit, and then the confirmation number appears that you're supposed to keep safe. It's as simple as that. The only problem that can arise is by you lying about the information or trying to do a double entry. Remember to do only one entry. Don't do a double entry. And with that, I come to the conclusion of this video and the end of it. And if you find it useful, please subscribe to the channel first, then give it a thumbs up to show you like it. Then share with your friends before they apply. Let them as well know this information before they apply for a correct DV lottery entry. And let's meet in the next video.